Hello, welcome to a game called 15 Days to... I was going to say 15 Days to Die. It's not... I played 7 Days to Die too much. It's not 15 Days to Die, it's just 15 days. Though it would have been good if at the end of the game the zombie dogs were released or something. I wouldn't have seen that coming. But anyway, let's start the game and I'll talk about it throughout. Now I have passed this game, and when I first opened this game and saw the sexy introduction, I was like, wow, I'm in for some sort of treat here. So I'll leave you to it to watch the introduction and then we'll start talking about it. So when I first saw that, I was like, wow, I'm in for a treat here. That is completely sexy. The game was released in 2010, and it's from a company called House of Tales. It's a German-based developer, which I don't even know if they still exist anymore. I couldn't even find a recent web page. He's done many famous games in the past. Now this is a point and click.
Who have we got here? Huh, sweetheart? Sleep well?
Next question.
You're looking good. Fresh as morning dew.
He's got all the words.
And? Headache?
Morning, Bernie.
Careful what you say. Madame is indisposed.
This guy on
There've been
the...
some calls for you, all commiserations, I think.
Listen, guys. Don't get on my nerves, okay? Is there any tea left?
Up there.
It's probably gone cold.
Okay, I'm going to try and talk him.
Cold as ice.
So the game is a point-and-click adventure. This guy coming in is the most annoying game
There's
character
nothing better
I
than a
have
nice hot
ever
cup of tea,
seen.
is there?
Like, seriously
Shut up,
annoying.
Mike.
I'm already gone.
More annoying than Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. It's somebody that would give, I don't know, it's such a bad character to give George Lucas a wet dream or something. I don't know. It's just really, really bad. So it's a point-and-click adventure that's supposed to be fashioned like the movie, what's the movie called? Entrapment. And kind of in a James Bond sort of style as well. You're part of 3 characters who basically have formed a group to steal from the rich by stealing works of art and then selling them on the black market and giving it off to charity. Sort of like a Robin Hood type of thing. However, maybe you just don't know this group, these other 2 characters, as well as you think you are, as each seem to have their own story. Also, you'll find there's an independent story between you and what's happening with your father.
You have 2 new messages.
Catherine, this is Dad. I got your number from your friend Tom. He didn't want to give it to me at first, but I told him it was important. And it is, isn't it? They've only got 1 daughter. You've only got 1 dad. Well, I would rather have spoken to you in person, but oh well, this'll have to do. Happy birthday. I wish you all the best. I have no idea what kind of life you live now, but I bet you're making it. Got so much energy. You always did. Like your mother. I'm sure you're doing well. Whatever it is you're doing. Yeah. Well done. Oh, by the way, Spot died last year. Cancer. I had to put him to sleep. He didn't feel a thing. And hey, the tree that we planted behind the house, remember? It's 8 meters tall now. 8 meters. Sometimes I look at it, I think about how old you were back then, and wonder if we'll ever look at it together, you know? How big it'll be then. God, I hate these machines. Can't you pick this up? Okay, I guess you're out. Well, take care, my girl. Have a good time. I'll try again soon. Happy birthday.
So there's this little story about your dad and some estranged relationship that goes on throughout, but really builds up kind of more towards the end. There's also an art dealer, a fourth person to the crew, which you eventually meet, who does the paintings for you. But he's incredibly ill, and he's paranoid that there's somebody walking through his flat. With these, and also a cop that is a different situation, you eventually have to... he has a side story on how he's trying to come up, trying to solve a murder of a dictator, which I should have clicked on the newspaper down here to show you. So here you have the Foreign Minister James Henston dead. This is of course you, or not you, Mike, the very annoying character, claimed this and got this for yourself. Apparently he wants to get into your pants, and this is the way he tried to do it, so, for your birthday present. But there's this strange murder mystery that's happening, and a detective is following this line of inquiry, and you play that part as well. The problem is the game really starts off slow, and it does take a real long while for it to build up. The very first kind of art stealing situation really isn't that great, and it kind of just falls kind of flat. But that's understandable, because before you know it, there's a bigger art thing that you need to steal, and this is really where the game starts to pick up, both in story wise and everything else, as you'll find there's a lot to do with politics that somehow gets intertwined in this whole art stealing scenario.
Hey, Bernard.
Hi.
I'm sorry about before. I wasn't completely awake.
I think you're really sweet when you've got a hangover.
I read the paper. You guys are really completely crazy.
I know.
You could have been cool.
It's your birthday. We didn't want to get you a blender.
How did you get Mike to climb up there?
I told him it would increase his chances with you.
You didn't say that.
I did.
You didn't.
Oh, he's been secretly training for 10 days. Haven't you noticed how thin he's got?
Oh, God. You two really are crazy. And what's he doing now, so secretly?
Preparing the big surprise. Top secret.
Uh-huh. And is it a nice surprise? Or another one that could get you arrested?
Both.
Ah, that sounds great. Now tell me what it is.
Wait until Mike's here. He'll be finished soon. Go to your room and we'll call you.
All right then. See you later.
So this character is probably not who he says he is either. Eventually you'll find there's some very strange things that are going on, but where he fits in a whole line of things you really can't work out until, again, the very end. You also realise that the people that you're about to work for aren't probably who they say they are. You don't really know much about them. And even though they offer big money for what can only be described as lame works of art, you're you start to understand that there's some genocidal maniacs around, and you've just got yourself involved in them. How much so? It's quite surprising to some extent at the end. And at the end of the game, everything ties in nicely. Here's only snippets, but it takes a long time for the story to develop. But it was a nice ending, and I can say that the ending kind of... Well, the story... There's one room where I just thought, you know what, that's pretty messed up.
Now I can barely wait.
Catherine!
Oh, at last.
You need to sit down, I think. Oh no, I'm there. Here we go.
Well...
So, my dear Catherine, Mike and I have spared no cost or effort in getting our next project off the ground. A really big one. And it's a home game, here in London.
The client is some crazy African. We're meeting his middleman at the London Eye in 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes? Oh, great. What will he pay?
Double.
At least. He hasn't named any figures as yet, but I think he's dripping with cash. We were thinking of giving it to Homes Not Bombs UK. What do you think?
Which painting is it then?
We'll find out soon. Mike has built a little toy.
It's upstairs in my desk. I've only just finished it. Bring it down.
A toy, right.
Don't worry, it's nothing out of the ordinary. It looks like a remote control.
You're really building up the excitement. All right then.
So, as I said, they steal from the rich. They basically just steal works of art. And, oh, hang on, more information.
What now? We've got to go soon.
Okay. And
All right. See you soon.
the whole politics behind this kind of gets explored a little bit. How, regardless of how noble they might think it is, it may not necessarily be the right way of going about things. And you'll see that very soon. I think it's here. Is it here I have to go? Can't even remember where it is. Oh, here we go.
Well, that has to be the thing he meant.
Okay. Problem is, there's not that much music behind it all, and the animation. Well, there's two more really interesting animations. One's sort of halfway, and the other one's right at the end. The problem is the ending isn't really that great in comparison to the beginning, and it's a little bit disappointing. While the explanation of how the villains kind of gets you to go into their lair and explain the whole story to you, well, it might sound like something that in a James Bond film, it actually really did gel quite nicely, and it's the first time I've ever seen it work. It made sense why the villain invited you in and why the villain explained the whole thing to you. Everything really gels nicely at the end, and I like how they tie up every loose end, and that's probably the strongest point of this whole game adventure, worth $10. Problem is, I don't think it's worth $10. There are many point-and-click adventures that are just as good, that are cheaper, so maybe stick with one of those and wait for this one to go on sale. The other problem with this is it can crash quite a lot. Not at the beginning, but when you eventually get down into Paris and into the catacombs, it crashes quite a bit, and you'll have to always press the escape and go to save the game. Always. You will get through it, but it's just a nasty bunch of bugs that they have. They do have an automatic send this to the developer, but I don't think the developer exists anymore. And bugs have been there since the game's release, meaning they don't do anything. So whether that automatic bug sender is just there for show, It seems to be that way.
You're talking about this thing here?
Thing? That's not a thing. That's a masterpiece of illegal remote control electronics.
Uh-huh. And what can it do?
It can control the Ferris wheel remotely. Mike hacked into the wireless network. We can stop or turn the wheel at the touch of a button.
Our very own conference room above the clouds. Extremely clandestine and unbelievably cool. Only a genius could construct a transmitter like this.
And this thing works, right?
I haven't tried it out yet, but I've calculated everything. It must work. We'll soon see.
So we're gonna meet this African guy in the London
I
Eye?
really hate Mike.
Not we. You. Mike will control the wheel from the ground.
Kids, this is gonna be the deal of our lives with an unobstructed view. And? What do you say?
You're crazy.
I knew you'd like it. Come on, let's go. We're late. Pack your things. I've got to quickly do something on the computer.
He's just a really unannoying, unbelievable representation of a expert, a geek. And I wish these two would just hold his legs and use his head as a toilet brush or something. He just really annoys me. He's sort of put in there as comic relief, someone who thinks he knows it all and is an expert. However, listen, a thorn in your ear or eye, is it really anything comical relief about it? No. He's just too annoying.
Did you read this? Henston, the Foreign Secretary, is dead. Collapsed at his desk.
I've been sadder.
Come on, Mike. You can't talk about him like that. He had a family. 3 children.
The people in the countries whose exploitation he was responsible for also had children. He wasn't undeserving.
Don't be so cynical. That's not going to make the world any better.
But it also won't make it worse. They'll put a new minister in his office. Long live the Commonwealth.
Mike, we always said that we wouldn't become like these people. If you don't care whether there are deaths or not...
Then I'd be like Henston, certainly. And that's why I say it's not a shame that he's dead. Where does your sudden love for this guy come from?
Just because I don't wish death upon him doesn't mean...
Can you discuss this in the car? You've got to go.
Catherine would rather go to Minister Henston's funeral to plant some flowers.
That's enough, Mike.
Okay. Not on my birthday. Alright, let's go.
I will say this about Mike though. He has the best line in the game right at the end. The very last words. Very, really well done. So first of all, you got to go to him, and then you talk to him again.
Hey, Mike.
So, everything ready?
That's what I was going to ask you. Quickly do something on the computer, huh?
Have you seen the paper?
Certainly have.
Well, it's a good shot of me, isn't it? Damn, I look so athletic in that picture, like Spider-Man.
If Spider-Man did an office job.
Come on, that's not nice. I've lost 4 kilos. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it even halfway up the tower. Tell me I was good.
You were great. But a kitchen blender would also have been alright. I don't want to celebrate my next birthday in jail. Have you got your phone?
Sure.
Your keys?
Yes, Mum. And you? Have you got your phone?
Of course.
Okay, I'll be down in a minute.
And that's it. And as you can see, there's actually a lot of detail that have been put into this. But unfortunately, you can't really click on a lot of it, and so it really doesn't really make doesn't really do much or add much to the whole scenario. How do I get it? Oh,
Hurry
okay.
up. I'll wait downstairs.
And now
Come on, Catherine. We're in a hurry.
we come across our first Nigerian scam.
Okay. And now?
We wait. The guy's called Odila. He'll be here any minute now. Get into the pod, I'll stop it, we do the deal, and then I'll bring you back down.
How did you come in contact with this guy?
Well, that's a funny story. He heard about our South Africa deal, and then he got in touch with Bernard.
He got in touch with us. Where did he get the number?
No idea. Bernard said he had a message on his mailbox. That's how it came about.
And you're certain this isn't a trap?
Almost certain.
Oh, great. Come on, let's go back.
Nonsense. Keep calm. I've checked him out. He's got at least 5 diplomatic passports, all of them fake. He's no cop.
And I'm supposed to hang around with him in that pod on my own?
I'll be there too. There. There he is.
That one there?
Yeah. The guy in the white suit.
I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Go on. You'll be okay.
Oh, all right.
You got your mobile on?
Of course.
So you notice the music has just started for this background, and the music really does add the atmosphere. It's a pity that the game didn't start like that, and so there was a big slow introduction that just lacked.
Let's get started.
I'm getting in now.
So we come across our first puzzle, and to tell you the truth, the puzzle really makes not a lot of sense at all. And so you'll probably need a walkthrough. Most of the time the walkthrough will tell you that basically you're going to have to wait until this timer comes down to 0 and then try it. Basically what we have to do is get this bottom line to look like the top line. And we're just wanting to use these two That's probably it there. Probably need to end that. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, let's get in that way. Okay, so that will actually solve the first one. And then all you have to do is work this one out. Which is basically, this isn't too hard.
What a wonderful view. Just look at all these people. Every one of them has a dream, and every one of them is working towards it. As busy as termites, right? Millions of souls building proud, ornate towers. Do you like termites, Mrs.
Catherine.
Mrs. Catherine? In my country, termites are seen as the incarnation of the dead. The holes in their towers lead to the spirit world. Isn't that strange? No matter how high the towers grow, they still lead to the underworld. And no matter how high this big wheel turns, its foundations remain the dust of the earth, the mud, the dirt.
Whoa, the guy's a lady. Shall I bring you down?
You wanted to make us a business proposal.
Business? That's an ugly word. You can help us. You can free a soul.
I don't fully understand.
Catherine, shall I get you down now?
I represent a big man. He's prepared to pay £5 million for the portrait of Winston Churchill that's hanging in the London Modern.
Not just one lunatic, but two.
That's a lot of money for a painting.
It is fitting for this painting. My client doesn't calculate according to the market price.
He'll know what he's doing.
Not.
You don't need to worry about that. The picture is of great worth to him, and it should be for you too. $2 million in advance, the rest on delivery. Is that acceptable?
Don't say the wrong thing now.
Is the money in the suitcase?
It's yours.
We need about a week. If we fail, you get the money back, minus our expenses.
You won't fail.
We'll do what we can.
That's enough now.
All right then.
See you next week. I'm counting on you. Don't forget that.
I'll keep it in mind.
What charming.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So the whole basic mystery is you got 5 days to basically steal this painting. After you steal this little painting as a test, you then get given another scenario where you've got 10 days to steal the next painting. Hence why it's 15 days. There's also another reason why it's 15 days, but that's a real, kind of revealed at the end. As you can see, the guy you've sort of working for doesn't make a lot of sense. He's put a great price on works of art that really aren't works of art. They're not worth the price he's willing to pay. Why are they so important to him? And who is this person that you're working for is partly one of the mysteries. The other thing is, again, your father. How is he involved in this whole situation? And also your friends who work with you, are they really who they say they are? And again, the person who paints, who does the paintings for you, why is he sick all the time, and why is he constantly paranoid that someone is always in his flat? There's a lot of things that really don't make much sense until the very end. And as I said, it all comes really nicely together. And that's the strong point of this game, the story. It is quite an ingenious little story about a dictator who I really had to look it up to see if there was a real dictator who lived in a country like that, as he done as he was reported in the story to do many messed up things. There isn't. It's completely fictitious. But it just goes to show the strength of the story, because it was believable. I had to see if it was based on something real. And to some degree, it is. There were many genocides in Hutu, Tutsi, and so the story can somewhat be believable. Other than the very annoying character, Mike, and the fact that it crashes all the time, especially in the catacombs, there is some nice back visuals, but it does have a bit of a lackluster ending. Even though the story is really well connected at the end, I was expecting a real explosive ending, and it's just a fizzle. It's an explosion that is so lame that it wouldn't even raise the eyebrow of Michael Bay. But if it ever does go on sale, take a look at it. It might be worth a look for you, especially if you like point and click adventures. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye for now.